Hey everyone, it's James at geometriccharts.com. March 25th, about 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So first of all, the video is not investment advice, and then second of all, we will get into the numbers. Now the downtrend line, again, when I started talking, it was almost like a 4,400. We've just been doing a sideways chop. This is, one of the things I talked about in some of my prior videos is that I just figured that this level would just essentially push price more horizontal than anything, essentially wasting a lot of time, just churning sideways. Very similar to the 6,000. And if you see my prior videos, I talk about the frequencies are the same. We're still adhering to the same negative frequency in the lagging indicators. You can see the red lines notated on the charts for like your stochastics, your RSI, MACD pointing down, everything. So there's still a lot of weakness in this market. Again, it's trying to chop up, it's trying to change its direction, but there's definitely some underlying weakness to this to the market as of now. So I think, like, best case scenario, the market chops a little bit. Maybe we get a little more of a pump in the short term future, but I just don't see any true strength yet for the market at the moment. It's definitely due for a corrective move. Sentiment's wildly bullish. It's been that way for some time. The longs have been very high, and they've stayed in a very high area for an extended period of time, and then that leads to the opportunity for some chaos, and that chaos is essentially a corrective move that throws the longs back into the sidelines, or it throws a majority of them to the short side, and then the market gets ready to whip from the shorts back, to the longs, and vice versa, like a never-ending ping-pong game between longs and shorts. So that's pretty much what I see now. Again, we had some really massive moves out of some of the altcoins. Now they are starting to correct, and I think Bitcoin is definitely long in the tooth in its move, and it's due for a deeper corrective move as well too. Now, again, we are near this trend line, and I do think that this trend line could be used as another trap. So maybe a pullback, maybe a slingshot through after that pullback, and then that could lead to another frenzy in the market, which could also lead to another prime opportunity for a dumping event. So big players can dump in to the guppies as they kind of move through in a very similar fashion to how you get these waves up, right? These little consolidations, and then you get the end move, which is the massive dump where they just dump into everyone, so the trade's not working against them, and there's enough cushion to still make a very decent profit. So again, if you started the pump here with a big position, right, and you dumped up here, and at the end, let's just say somewhere you ended here, you still made this amount. And majority of your position started getting liquidated here as it started funneling down. So again, you made some serious coin just off of pumping the market on these little waves. So, and again, that's been the reoccurring theme in this market is pump and dump relentlessly, but the overarching theme is still weakness in this market. So the pumps look very convincing. Again, you get 15 to about 25% pumps in Bitcoin, and that is about average. That's about the top of the run that happens in Bitcoin. The altcoins can do well more than that. I mean, the altcoins can do circles around Bitcoin, but it's pretty much the juggernaut in the industry, and as of now, it just looks like it's struggling a bit. So again, I don't think it's going to be an easy road here. I think a lot of people are looking for this crazy moonshot, like 740,000 Bitcoin and all the other crazy numbers that I see out there, but you're definitely going to be in for a rude awakening, as we're probably just going to see a continuation of the chop, and probably more of a slow chop downward before a slow chop upward, maybe with a little pump here and there. But again, a lot of it is going to be more horizontal, meaning that we're going to essentially churn through time and space like that. And everyone is, or not everyone, but a majority of this market is looking for this. And I've seen the charts where people are posting them, and they circulate on social media and stuff, and people are taking these charts and saying, well, and this is just basic human nature. just basic human nature to extrapolate these crazy moves. Remember, this was the move that was guaranteed by everyone. Remember John McAfee, Tom Lee, all of them, right? This was it, guaranteed. You were going to become a trillionaire. Don't worry, it'll be over 20,000. It's human nature to extrapolate it. Now the new one is even further, again, in some of these charts where people are like this one. So this one's guaranteed. You know, if it wasn't this one, it has to be this one. And what a lot of people are not counting on is the horizontal activity in this market. And I talked about it here, and it looks like we are lining up for something very similar to where there's going to be convincing moves, but they'll be faded, and price will essentially churn sideways. And it'll all, I think, end in another leg down eventually in the market to wipe out more of this bullish sentiment. Again, this is the only market to where I've seen people just get absolutely crazy in a market and talk about things like they're guaranteed to happen, and they get so set in this like bullish mindset in this market, and that it's like guaranteed that it's going to skyrocket to these crazy levels, and everyone else is an absolute idiot. And that's when you know that the insanity is still there in a market, right? So I definitely talk about Bitcoin in more of a bearish tone, but when you look at the price history and you look at the momentum, right, behind this, it's all negative. So it's like, if it looks like a pig and it squeals like a pig, it has to be a pig, you know? And there's still a good majority of this market that says, no, it's a butterfly and it's going to fly off. It's just in a cocoon right now that looks like a pig. And one day it's going to be at 740,000 Bitcoin and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the market. It just means this market has much longer to churn and eat through time and space to the right of the chart. And in doing so, it's going to prolong this process and weed a lot of people out during that. Again, a lot of people are looking for the crazy moonshot. And while it definitely could churn sideways and maybe provide more of a relief rally based to this nasty dump that we had in the market, and I think that will come a little bit later down the road, and that will, I think, be one of the peaks of where sentiment gets absolutely wild, but it also creates the energy necessary to smash through to another lower low in this market. So I still think that we're going to stair step downward into the future, but it's not going to come easy. It's going to essentially wait everyone out, and it's going to make everyone work a lot, like you're trying to hunt a very rare species of animal, or you're fishing, or you're doing something to where you're trying to catch like this, or like playing the lotto and stuff. Like a lot of people, they do the scratch offs, and it takes a very long time before they ever make a winner. And most people, if they accumulated their total of how much they spent and what they won, they'd probably end up negative anyways. But it's not an easy trade, and a lot of people are looking at this like it's going to be an easy trade, and it's not going to. Anyways, so that's pretty much it. I think if it was going to be an easy trade, a lot of this momentum would have been positive, and it would have stayed positive. Instead, it's pretty much the same negative slope that we had since 20,000, or the backside of 20,000 in this market. So anyways, that's my thoughts on everything. I think there's some short-term pain and punishment. I think if Bitcoin can break above still 4,400, it's still going to be a solid level. If it breaks lower than about like 38-ish hundred, there's a nice little support line right around there on Bitfinex. Again, it's acted as support for quite some time in Bitfinex, and some of the other exchanges are right around that level, 3,700. Then it's obviously going to dive a little bit deeper, probably work off some more of this rally in a corrective move, and then start to head up. But those are pretty much the two zones, like around like 3,800, and then the top area that I'd like to see it get above is 4,400 still, just because it's the prior top here. And I'd like to see that momentum change and also that volume change. So even though the downtrend lines right there, I still think those areas are going to be some key areas for Bitcoin going forward. So that's it for the video. Hope everybody has a great day, great night, depending on where you are in the world. I do appreciate your time and support. If you do like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, and I will talk to everybody on Wednesday.